From the greatest minds from around the world, this is the Nerds That Know. Stash here along with my wonderful plethora of beautiful, wonderful hosts. Oh, and look who suddenly came back. Hello, Fox.
Hi.
Stash is being awfully nice this evening. I'm scared.
I'm tired.
Ah, this explains it.
And existentially exhausted with life and living. But you know what?
A toast to that.
Because there's cool nerd shit to talk about.
Yeah, I don't know what's been in the air lately, but like everyone I know has been having a tough time, myself included.
It's the heat, man. 100 fucking degrees will take it out of anyone.
We need that heat here in Colorado to break and break now.
It's been nice today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Today's been the first nice day in a week and 2 weeks though.
Yeah, I actually I slept with my window open last night. It was so good. So good.
Yes. All right. Well, introduce yourself, my minions.
Oh, you did not call us minions.
I certainly did. And I rescind nothing.
Well, nobody's going to introduce themselves because there's no minions here.
Oh, that's not what I've heard.
Well,
Really,
all of the amazing people who are not Stash, because he is not one of the amazing people, please say hi.
Hi, Fox here.
Thank you.
And it's Bobby giving Stash much shit because that's what big sisters do.
It's true. And as for Smurf, we murdered him and buried him in a field of garbage because that's where he belongs.
That's not true at all. That is not true at all. We ate him. God, stop telling lies.
In fairness, Fox, we did do both because there was only so much that could fit inside of our bellies.
It's going to be really weird if Smurf suddenly disappears under mysterious circumstances.
I was going to say it's going to be really weird when he gets on to edit this. For when we post the audio recording. Hey, Dre, thanks for joining us tonight.
It will be very strange. But you know what? He deserves it because he's not here.
Yeah. The last time we said he was living in a cave, he came back very upset. So this will be fun. Hey, you know what? The truth hurts.
It does. And it hurts, Smurf a lot more than the rest of us. Well,
maybe he's into that.
Exciting things that have happened in the nerd community lately. What do we want to start with? Do we want to start with the fun one? Let's start with the fun one. Rick and Morty Season 5's premiere.
Nobody has any say. Stash is just going to, take control. I was going to be like, let's start with Loki. No, okay, Rick and Morty.
That's what he does.
Rick and Morty it is. Let's start with Rick and Morty.
Well, we already did, so thank you for acquiescing.
You know what? Tonight I am knuckling under. I don't even care.
Yeah, the Season 5 premiere dropped on Sunday? Was it Sunday?
Technically this morning.
Oh.
Technically.
It was super late.
Yeah, it was a 12:30 release.
Yeah. It's it dropped, and I have to say, I watched it when I got home from work today on YouTube, of all places, but...
Yeah, they did a drop when it premiered, I guess, at the same time, when it premiered on Cartoon Network Adult Swim's. Same time they dropped it on YouTube.
Yeah, I think that because there's always so much time between seasons, and just because of the kind of press that Rick and Morty has gotten, they wanted to generate a little more excitement and make it more accessible to people by putting it on YouTube. That's my assumption.
I would hope so. I wonder if this is something they're going to continue for the remainder of this season. Fox, did you get around to watching a few minutes of it?
I saw the first 7 minutes and 19 seconds before we started recording.
Hey, that is over a third.
Yeah. It's just a return to form. It's very much the same, which isn't. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
Oh,
it is more Rick and Morty.
And it continues in that direction as you continue watching. And,
it definitely does.
And
it is interesting because it's poking fun at itself.
Oh,
like which is the
Rick
best
and Morty
way.
A lot more than usual. Like they're definitely poking fun at that.
Yeah, it's
not necessarily sci-fi tropes.
Oh, and it's just not just poking the bear; it's punching the bear at this point when it's making fun of itself.
Yeah,
it goes in on its own everything during this episode, its own storyline, its own merit in the sci-fi community, and it's.
I mean, it's big enough to be self-referential.
It is,
and it does the shit out of it.
And that's a really big word, Fox.
Thanks. I'm not sure if you're like insulting my intelligence.
No, not you. I'm insulting
or
Rick and Morty. I'm insulting Rick and Morty. That they've reached the point where we have to use large words to describe what's happening.
Oh, I don't know. They've used incredibly sophisticated language in that series long before now. But no, I really like how they took a very traditional sci-fi trope, that of differing timelines, and put their own spin on it.
Oh.
It's like, boy, did they put their own spin on it.
Yeah, they got goofy with it, that's for sure.
But I think I can reference at least that much without causing any undue spoilers. But it is very interesting how things develop, and the plot twist at the end is obviously something you expect and understand, but at the same time, I feel like Rick and Morty has always been about the journey. Like, what absurd things can they interject in the journey to make, our trip worth it? And they've succeeded in everything so far. I mean, it's a good pilot. I'm enjoying it.
Oh yeah, it was fun.
Does it count as a pilot if it's season 5?
Well, premiere.
Okay.
It's like it's a season pilot, but
well, yeah, because the way they tell their stories, I mean, you never know. It could be a pilot. Could be a whole different Rick and Morty.
It definitely could. That is absolutely true. But I'm excited to see where this season goes. Have we heard anything about like season length or anything like that?
It's still 10 episodes.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I hope it feels a bit beefier than this last season did, because last season it just blazed by so quickly. I watched it all in like one sitting and had a great time doing it, but at the same time, like it didn't have the really awesome episodes of like Pickle Rick, for example, to really draw me in. But as for amazing shows that we have all been watching, now we can bring up Loki.
Thank you.
Which is, in its own way, kind of a spiritual successor to Rick and Morty. Because they play a lot with the sci-fi tropes.
Yeah, they do. They definitely poke fun of the sci-fi tropes.
Yeah, they don't take anything seriously. A lot of what we've traditionally been taught in sci-fi time travel stuff, they fuck with it in Loki.
Yeah, they definitely do. Does Loki have his own comic? I actually don't think I've ever asked.
Yeah, he has a few times.
Is it this tongue-in-cheek and this absurd, or is this something very modern Marvel?
Well, no, some of it there with I don't want to obviously disclose too much, but with the storyline that they're kind of appropriating, because they're pulling from a couple different sources, but a lot of it is in the absurd realm.
Mm-hmm.
And then the big surprise at the end of, I guess technically at the end of episode 2.
Taught me, baby. That's all I have to say.
2 different. Well, it seems to be a mishmash of 2 different characters.
It really does. I don't want to go into spoiler territory too much, but like it is a very interesting portrayal.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Not to get completely off, Stash's happy moment, but Owen Wilson seems to play the same character over and over and over and over and over again. And I feel like this is just him being the same dude that he's been in everything else.
Oh, yeah. Owen Wilson doesn't know how to act.
Yes, but I believe that is 100% purposeful in this.
Yeah.
The thing about, because we know that the grand master of this whole thing is Kevin Feige.
Mm-hmm.
There is no way that he did not specifically pick out Owen Wilson to be that character without reason.
No, and I get that. I do. But
and I think that's because he wanted Owen Wilson.
But he just irritates the shit out of me. Because it's the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
Well, now you know how I feel about The Rock.
At least he can sing.
Barely.
But
no, it's the nature of Owen Wilson. He has that gimmick and it works for him. It defines his characters and it always will. That's why the fact I haven't seen him in years hasn't bothered me at all.
Well, and it fits this character specifically, or at least the version that they're going with of this.
Oh, absolutely.
You
can tell
weird,
this character
witted, closed off person who's kind of never experienced anything besides what he's existing in.
Mm-hmm.
I think that makes sense for that character.
Yeah. You can definitely tell that at least some of this character was written with him in mind specifically. So I don't know if they cast him after they wrote him in, because I mean, you're Disney, you can pretty much get any actor you want. Or if they did a rewrite once they had the casting, but they definitely appealed to his character and his complete lack of acting.
Well, and based on some of the information that came out from WandaVision afterwards, they don't necessarily have certain people that they have to have, but they do, when they're doing the storyboarding, have people in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Which totally makes sense.
Even 2 years before shooting starts, they have people kind of already in line where they want them to be and who they want them to portray.
Well, and that's true for almost any creative process. I mean, I have a collector's edition of The Princess Bride, and the first like 2 chapters, are kind of the making of the movie, where he's talking about as he's writing the script, transposing it from book to film. He's imagining, okay, this is who I want to play this character. This is who I want to play that character. And because it took so long for it to actually be filmed, he had to change actors and whatnot a lot. The only one who was consistent all the way through was Andre the Giant.
Well, that's because it's Andre.
Yeah. Michelle says she loved Owen Wilson in Night at the Museum.
Owen Wilson as a cowboy. So.
Yeah. Solid choice. I enjoyed that movie. The second one, not as much.
I enjoyed him in Shanghai Noon.
That's an interesting choice. Really?
Yeah.
All right.
That's what came to mind when I was thinking of movies I enjoyed him in. But again, he played exactly the same character he is now. Fox, have you watched any of this as of yet, or not quite yet? Well,
Fox, are you with us? And Michelle says, yes, Shanghai Noon, good one for him as well.
Yes. See, I'm not crazy.
So, Fox, do you have any thoughts on Owen Wilson and or Loki? You're muted, dearest.
But no, anything besides your criticism of Owen Wilson's acting?
It's distracting, but other than that, so far so good.
I am enjoying it immensely. I think the first episode was stronger than the second, but the second had the better plot twist.
Oh, and the ending of the second episode was crazy.
I think the thing I can say the most. Oh, go ahead, Tank.
I was just saying the ending of the second episode was crazy and beautiful, and how they basically started the real action of the story for the series.
Yes, I definitely did not expect. I expected another kind of filler background episode, like a chase episode, before we really got to the action. But this is a very short season, so
yes, it's only 6 episodes, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep.
One of the things I will say on the positive for Loki is it, like Falcon and Winter Soldier and like WandaVision, have all been so different the one from the other.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, generally there's a lot of variance in our TV shows.
Yeah. Which, after a while, you know, some of the Marvel movies started feeling very canned and predictable.
Yeah, especially parts of it did. Because the outlier towards the end for me was Thor Ragnarok. Just that felt completely different than everything else surrounding it.
Right.
But you're not wrong, though. Like, a lot of the stories, basically from Avengers 2, felt very similar.
Yeah.
So.
And I think it's because they were trying to get everything to lead up to Endgame, which I get, but I'm glad that we're seeing some differences in the storytelling and the cinematography and just the way the whole thing is working out, which makes me want to keep watching it and see what else they're going to be doing.
Tom Hiddleston is awesome.
Yeah, ridiculously talented.
That's the best way to put it. Like, the way that he can change his character in the middle of a scene is just crazy.
Fox, you should totally cosplay the Tom Hiddleston version of Loki. That would be sexy. You're still muted, dearest.
Oh, well, I mean, he is gender fluid, so.
Which is why I'm saying it would totally work for you. Like, this is something. The Moon Knight.
Mark Spector?
No. Somebody, one of our viewers just says, give me the Moon Knight.
Oh, that's the one that they're doing with Oscar Isaac, yeah.
Yeah. He wants it right now.
I mean, it's basically Batman, but crazier.
Yeah, which, while we were going through our list of topics for this evening, we were actually discussing the Marvel equivalents of some of the other DC characters. So, Wonder Woman, Batman. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Power Princess is the Marvel's version of Wonder Woman, and she's a destroyer. I'll just put it that way. If you read the Heroes Reborn story that they're doing right now, she's a monster in the best way possible, but she is an absolute destroyer.
All right, add that to my list of things that I'm getting from you.
All right.
You too can buy comic books and stuff from Tank at Knock Nostalgic Collectibles. See the link on our Facebook page, Twitter, or Instagram.
Before we transition from Loki, what do you guys feel about the Wednesday episodes?
I'm fine with it. It's a good way to break up the monotony midweek, I guess.
I like that they're doing them on Wednesdays, especially over the summer, because so many people go away for the long weekend where they'll get off work early, like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then not come back till Sunday night.
Well, with everything opening up, it makes sense for it to not be on Fridays because people are doing stuff on Fridays now.
Right, which is one of the reasons why Loki is doing so well in the numbers. They're saying that the Loki debut beat the numbers for Sweet Tooth and Shadow and Bone.
It beat everything.
Yeah, they're saying
yeah.
like,
And
holy
there's-
crap, it is just like the most watched premiere among second quarter 2021 streaming shows.
I mean, not surprising. It's been anticipated for what,
2 years.
couple of years now?
Yeah.
2 years.
All right, it had 10.5% share of streaming engagements.
And that's a big thing considering how
That is a
many.
That is
Yeah.
huge.
That's a big number.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, they're
impressive.
saying this is ginormous. It even beat WandaVision, which had a 9.3% share.
Yep.
Falcon and Winter Soldier only had a 6%.
Well, then we knew there was going to be a drop off for people. didn't
Right,
want it.
but I'm just saying, like,
The later episodes is where they got a bigger share on for Captain America. And Winter
Makes me
Soldier.
wonder if the new season of Witcher will perhaps like gain that level of attention.
I hope so. I am so excited about The Witcher. Like, I am just so freaking excited for this.
Yeah, I have read, I want to say like 4 of his books, and I obviously played the second and third game.
Well,
Oh,
I
wow.
obviously have not played any of the games, but I do
You haven't read the
know
books
the
either.
books.
You are not a video game person. I understand that.
But I
Yes,
would enjoy. I do enjoy watching gameplay of The Witcher. I just won't play it
may want
myself.
to seek out the third game. That is actually a very, very fun and engaging game.
Yes, it is.
Is it not something that you have to play like in order?
No, I don't believe so. They
Not
have
at all.
enough variations. Like, it's the same character, but there's not so much crossover from between the games that you can't just pick it up in the third one, honestly.
Yeah, there's overlapping characters and there are added details to the narrative, but it is by no means necessary.
Yeah, they stand alone pretty well.
And you can play it, Fox, on your Switch.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
No,
It is, they dropped it a couple of years ago, last year,
I think it was
some time ago.
last year is when they
Yeah.
The Witcher 3.
and for those who are interested in the books, they are available in ebook, audiobook, as well as the physical copies all over the place now. Way
And
easier to
have you
find than
ever-
were.
Have you read them, Bobby?
I've read the first 2. I am
Okay.
currently listening to the third.
So technically, you don't need to listen to them in any sort of order because he wrote them to where they can be listened to at any way.
Yeah, they're standalone stories.
Yes, but Netflix did say this is their suggested way to listen to the books,
Just on how they're presenting the
how they're
story.
presenting it.
That would make sense.
And that is the order of which I have been doing the reading and listening.
That makes sense.
Okay.
If they're going to
Um,
be telling it in that
order.
Yeah.
So also, Netflix has confirmed that we will see season 2 of The Witcher this year. They have not given us a set date, but they've said fourth quarter. Yeah, we know fourth quarter.
October to December sometime.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, makes sense placement-wise. I hope they pick a time that, doesn't clash with a bunch of other things, because
Well, and that's hard though. October through December, it basically clashes with everything.
yeah, it's big video game time, it's big TV series release times, and
Holidays.
movies are going to be picking up. It's like,
Yeah, I feel like November would probably be better than October, but
Slightly, yeah.
I agree. I feel like December would probably be good, but you want to get that big bump.
yeah, you'd have to do it early
viewership
December
of-
though.
Well, and December's not bad because there is usually a couple movies that come out, but December's primarily a dead zone for movies.
Yeah, games on the other hand.
Yeah, because you want to get those out in time for Christmas.
Yeah.
Make all the parents buy them.
Yeah.
But I am very excited to see this next season. I'm excited to see if we have another bathtub scene, which I imagine we probably will.
God, I hope so.
I'm really hoping the sex on the unicorn scene that happens as an Easter egg in the game is something that we see in the TV series, because that is something I would also enjoy seeing.
All the fan service, just nothing but fan service.
Of course.
I wouldn't rely on that. John Hamm notoriously does not like people talking about his hog. So,
yeah.
As well endowed as he is, he does not like it when people talk about him.
Well, there are still things that a woman wants, you know, and by God, I hope we get at least some of them.
Oh, I'm sure he's going to be wearing the tightest leather imaginable, but
yeah,
I wouldn't count on
I prefer him semi-nude, if not all the way nude.
I wouldn't count on any like Skarsgård type of situations where you can actually see it.
Well, no, it's all going to be that implied, he may or may not look like a Ken doll in the front.
Well, if you've ever seen him in slacks, you know he does not look like a Ken doll.
No, he does not.
I gotta look this up.
He looks like he's trying to, steal a squash.
Michelle asks, is the unicorn scene in The Witcher as good as the unicorn biting off the nipple scene in Legends of Tomorrow?
I wouldn't know, but that sounds amazing and like something I will be looking up right after this show.
It's not a bad one. The Legends, I think it was last season when the unicorn thing happened. Yeah, give that a watch, actually. It's a pretty good season. They go into a lot of mythical creatures.
Tank can give us a hint on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, my really good friend has been trying to get me to watch it, and I'm just like, I started the first episode and I was like, this sucks.
Of all of the Berlanti shows, it is the least teen story driven. And it has the least amount of that young adult drama stuff to it. It's more just absurd time travel adventure.
I mean, I'm obviously not opposed to that, as I am a fan of Rick and Morty, so...
Yeah, of all of those shows, that's probably the one that you would enjoy the most, I think.
Yeah, I've been trying to get into those shows, and I can't.
Well, they're killing all of them off right now.
Michelle does say, this is part of the fun. It's just so bad.
Yeah.
I do love bad acting.
Which is why Sharknado always comes up on our show.
It shouldn't. You can let that pass. There are plenty of other things you can reference.
But
I love bad acting in many things.
Yeah, but the one that everybody can go, oh my God, really? Uniformly is Sharknado.
See,
that's because it's great and you refuse to accept what it is.
I would not say that's the worst acting. That's not that's not the most egregious form of
bad acting.
Have
you seen Tara Reid in that?
She's a bad actor in general.
Exactly, and it's her worst. It's like she can't move her face anymore because of all the plastic surgery.
Yeah, but there's worse. I'd say there's worse than that, though.
All right. Look for a list of our top 5 bad acting films that we recommend that you watch just for a chuckle.
I'm not going to do that, but you can compile a list.
I shall. And it will have Sharknadoes 1, 2, 3, and 4 on it.
Don't forget 5.
Oh, see, there you go. That's our top 5 list.
Okay, see, but you're leaving out the other sci-fi Monster of the Week movies.
That's true. Three-Headed Shark Attack or Lavalantula was terrible.
What was the octopus one?
Shark Octopus? Or Sharktopus?
Yeah, Sharktopus.
Yeah. Let's see, what else is there? There's damn it, what is the... There's Lavalantula, and then there's another one that's about lava spiders, and I can't remember what that one's called.
I don't remember the other one. I remember Lavalantula because that's one of my favorites of that genre.
That one was pretty solid. But then in Sharknado 5, they had a crossover with other sci-fi heroes. So, yeah, the acting was impeccable.
I bet it was amazing.
It was amazing. It was great. But yes, what else do we want to talk about, Bobby? Let's talk about Scream. Because I want to scream that Sharknado is great. Don't you
Really?
like how I ask you and then completely ignore what you're going to say in favor of what comes to mind? Isn't that nice?
So, Scream 5, Taylor Lautner returns.
And it is entirely done shooting?
Yeah, it's already done. It is officially locked already.
Real quick, before we get too far off topic, one of our fabulous and incredibly sexy viewers does say the Seven Brothers Meet Dracula is also pretty bad and worth a laugh.
Oh, that's Morgana.
Didn't I already say that?
No, you just said a
incredibly
fabulous
sexy viewer.
But that is a terrible movie. It is quite amusing, and it's free on YouTube.
All right. So, Scream 5. What do we think?
Scream 5. Yes.
Taylor Lautner's back.
A lot of the original cast is back.
Most of the original cast is back.
Yes. Yeah. So all we really know right now is that it is not going to be a full reboot, and they have actually have multiple versions of the script, so that way nothing can be leaked yet, and to help prevent spoilers.
Well, and this is it's a different. It's not Wes Craven this time. It's Tyler Gillett seems to be the main director. I
don't know that name. Is he famous for anything?
Not super famous. Him and it's Matt something. They've done like
let's see, Matt Bettinelli open.
That's him. That's Matt Bettinelli. They do a lot of.
They did Ready or Not.
Yeah, a horror comedy, kind of both. So it does make you wonder if this is going to be a traditional slasher flick or if it's going to be pushed into the void of spoof stuff. I hope that's not going to happen, to be honest.
I mean, it'd be nice if they actually did a serious attempt at making a scary Scream, because
the first one was so much fun, honestly. I enjoyed that.
Well, so funny story, and also this will age me. The first Scream, when it came out on Blockbuster, my parents were watching it, and I snuck up behind the couch when I was supposed to be in bed and watched the movie through the couch, and it gave me nightmares for a week.
Awesome.
Yep. So I am very fond of the Scream movies, and even if they aren't scary, like, I have that association with them, and I would love to see, like, my nightmares that I had, actually, be based on something rational instead of, the fear of being caught while my parents were watching a movie and I was supposed to be in bed.
Well, I never really saw them as super scary, but I guess by the time the first one came out, I was 10, so... but they are very well done slasher flicks.
They are, and they're fun. It's like I don't know if fun's the right word. They're enjoyable. Let's put
it's the right word.
They can fun and still be a slasher flick.
Yeah, it's not overwhelmingly gory. It's not, it's not the horror porn. It's traditional slasher style. Like, who's the hidden guy under the mask that's killing everybody?
Yep.
Yeah, I've always been more of a fan of that mind fuck than like the jump scares.
Mm-hmm. And it definitely obliges you in that regard.
In some ways, yeah.
I don't know. I'm curious, and I'm also very curious why they have filming completely done and they're not releasing it.
Well, they've made it with Paramount for everything. And let's see.
It might just be Paramount holding it.
Yeah, so that's what it looks like to me. So because they partnered with Paramount Pictures to distribute the movie.
Which means they have all rights of release.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we will expect to see it on Paramount Plus. They're saying within 2 months of it hitting theaters.
Well, it's coming out. It's first week of the next year, isn't it? Like first week of January.
I believe that's right. Let me see if I can confirm that date.
I know it's early next year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually not a huge gap. I mean, that's only, 6 months?
Yeah.
But like horror movies tend to be pretty low budget, so you try and get them out pretty quickly. Unless you're talking about your huge ones like Saw or something like that. I can't envision Scream 5 having a massive budget, so they probably want to recuperate that as quickly as possible.
Well, they're looking at release date is set for January 14th of 22.
Oh, there you go, second week of January.
But they're saying that Scream is one of the most successful franchises in horror history.
Oh, yeah.
And so because of that, I think they just want to wait and deal with it next year.
Well, they probably had the thought of potentially doing it late summer or, in the middle of the fall or something like that. But the return to box office is still kind of growing right now. And them trying to dump a movie in October when there's going to be, Marvel and stuff like that at the same time. It'd be wrong for them to dump early New Year.
So,
do we have any other horror movies slotted for the end of the year as of yet?
Not that I'm aware of, but that doesn't mean they don't exist, and we just haven't caught up to them yet.
Yeah, I don't know of any because they already did. Spiral's already out.
Yeah.
The new Halloween is still in production, I believe.
I mean, I feel like that would be a good slot for this movie, which is why it's kind of shocking. But then again, like you said, it's a slasher film. It's not really a scary horror film.
No.
They're fundamentally different. So maybe October is the right place for it.
And
I just feel like January is a very strange place for it.
I don't think January is that weird of a place for it. If you think about early January theater numbers are always really good because that's when everybody wants to get away from their families because they've just done the holidays. So early January release does make sense.
Yeah,
and Tank does have a point. Right now, box office numbers are shit for everything.
Yeah,
because we're just now getting back in. And if
Yeah.
they do want to do anything with this film, saving it for release for after box office and actual physical in theaters doesn't completely suck ass, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And it gives us 6 more months to be, dealing with the whole COVID situation.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be back to like full seating by that point.
I kind of like having somebody not touching me.
Yeah, but if you're at the Alamo, you don't have to worry about that.
Which is true. And we do really enjoy the Alamo and places like it. So one movie that is coming out that it is highly recommended you see in theaters, and that is Black Widow. It's coming out on July 9th, and
Yeah.
it'll also hit Disney Plus Premier Access, so you have to pay a shit ton more to watch it.
Yep.
But that's coming out in just a matter of weeks.
Will this be your first movie you see in theaters?
It is for me. Well, maybe. I might be going this weekend. I'm not sure yet.
I mean, I think it will be my first, like, real movie premiere. I mean, I've definitely gone to see movies in theaters, but they're, like, movies I care about, like, classic re-showings of movies that I've seen a million times. Or
Yeah,
sitting
stuff.
in a re-
Yeah.
It will definitely be my first,
Yeah,
and I'm pretty
probably mine
excited
too.
to see. It's like I'm excited to see a movie I haven't seen in that setting and enjoy, like, who knows what,
Yeah.
the ride, the journey of it.
The critics' reviews of Black Widow that have come out already, kind of the pre-screenings that people have been able to do, are saying that this is one of the best movies that they've seen in a long time. They're saying, I believe one of the direct quotes was, "It's the shit."
Yeah.
Came from, I don't remember the name of the reviewer. I just remember reading, "Oh my God, I can't believe a reviewer actually used the expression, 'it's the shit.'"
Well, so the thing is, I don't know how much of this I believe versus how much of this is just we've been starved for theater experiences.
And I
over
think
the
it's
past
probably a little bit of both.
I think it is too. I bet you it's a good movie, but I don't know if I can go in, like, expecting greatness from this movie. We'll see. Maybe they'll tell a really interesting and compelling story, but
I mean, it's a Marvel movie. It's a turn your brain off and enjoy the action movie.
exactly.
Well, they're saying this isn't
Exactly.
a traditional Marvel movie. This is an action-packed spy movie.
This is a spy movie.
This is a spy thriller with a Marvel, logo.
And the only reason I kind of believe what's been said so far is because it's not just Scarlett Johansson. A lot of people are referencing Florence Pugh specifically,
Yeah.
which leads me to believe that it has a strong story because she, at least so far, has been presented as a background character, as secondary to whatever's happening in the story.
Which is good.
Yeah. One reviewer said it's the MCU's Bond movie with shades of Mission Impossible and Thelma and Louise.
Oh, that's
And I'm like, well, if that's not a fun endorsement to go see it, I don't know. But
Exactly. And we're still waiting for fucking James Bond, so
that'll be a while.
we'll
It's
address
September.
that when it's time.
September. They've delayed it like 2.5 years. It's obscene.
Yeah. Another movie that's coming out only digitally right now, though, but also, I guess, Blu-ray, but not in theaters. And that's going to be the first part of Batman The Long Halloween, where Batman is voiced by Jensen Ackles. And, like, the whole thing looks like it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, that does look fun. Just because Long Halloween is a really cool story for Batman. And I'm hoping they do it right.
Yeah. I mean, you and Smurf have both recommended Long Halloween to me.
The story is
And-
amazing.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see it in a avenue I am more familiar and comfortable with.
Well, I'm hoping they do a better job than they did with a couple of their more recent Batman stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Hush wasn't as good as the book, like the books. And what the hell was the other one? The Killing Joke wasn't as good as the book.
That's what I was trying to remember the name of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Matt Reeves was actually saying that he thought that this storyline was going to be used for the Robert Pattinson Batman movies that are coming out. But since they decided to go in a completely different direction over at Warner Brothers, they were able to go through and actually make this movie, which I guess it had been put on pause, waiting to see whether or not Warner Brothers was going to pick up this storyline.
Yeah, because Warner Brothers was thinking they may disintegrate as a company. So,
Yeah.
There's a lot.
So we'll see.
Yeah, that's true. I'm excited regardless. Like, interesting dark version of Batman that, like, I rewatched The Dark Knight Rises the other day, and I was like, tonally, I enjoyed movies like that. I would enjoy seeing something else similar. And from what I've heard, this borders more on like the satirical side of like that darkness, but still.
I don't know if satirical is the right word.
Yeah, I was going to use the right word. Satirical is the best I could come up with.
Long Halloween is very much a serial killer story in the Batman universe.
Mm-hmm.
So it does definitely have its darkness, at least in the tone of the source material.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm excited. And when is that releasing, Bobby?
That is going to release part 1 on June 22nd, which is tomorrow.
Tomorrow for us watching live.
Yeah, for those of us who are on here live right now, that is tomorrow. And part 2 will be later this summer.
Yep. Is it streaming anywhere?
Yeah, it is going to be, let's see, digital release and Blu-ray. It does not give me a site where it is streaming that I've been able to find thus far.
The only one I know of is for purchase, and that's Vudu.
Well, see, there you go. At least that's something.
It's $20, I think, which is normal for their direct-to-video first release. So
yeah.
But yeah, it looks like it's going to be worth the watch.
Yeah. I will see if I can track it down, and if I can, I'll try to watch for us next week.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I fully intend to watch it. I'm not sure if I'm going to pay Vudu or if, because like I said, they're also releasing it out on Blu-ray.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to register for another service. I just don't. My credit card is out there in a million places. I'd rather it not be a million and one.
Yeah, makes sense. All right. While we're talking about people who are taking your money, let's talk about Netflix and the fact that they've just made a major deal with Steven Spielberg.
Which is very interesting because it is very rare for like agreements for a film creator to exist beyond their next movie or two. It's like some directors can do that, very few. Steven Spielberg is definitely one, but nothing like what Netflix is doing because they have him for a few movies, not just his next one. It's very interesting.
Well, yeah, it's a multi-year contract with him where he'll be making Netflix original content. This does not impact his agreement at all with Universal, but they are fully planning on holding on to that #1 spot that they have as a streaming service, and they don't want to give Disney or Amazon or HBO Max or any of those other streaming services, Hulu, Paramount Plus, the Peacock, whatever, any chance to horn in on their numbers.
Do we?
Oh, God.
Do we have any idea what we're going to see from him?
No,
in this
we
contract?
know nothing yet. We
Nothing
know that
yet.
he's going to do multiple movies over multiple years, specifically for Netflix. That's all we know.
Well, and it's not super weird anymore. That's the thing. That was a weird thing. That was not a normal thing for a very long time, but it has kind of become that now. There's a lot of people who signed exclusives. I know Peter Berg has one with them. David E. Talbert has one with them.
Well, and this contract isn't just with Spielberg himself; it's with his entire company.
Yeah, it's with Amblin. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's with Amblin Pictures.
Oh, interesting.
I know Kevin Hart has one with them. I think we're coming up on the end of Adam Sandler's exclusive contract with Netflix. I think he's almost done with his. David Fincher has one with them. Like, there's actually, that's becoming a norm for the streaming companies to just pick a talent and say, bring everything you have to us for a while. Like even Mark Miller with all of his superhero shows. There's a reason that they're all on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
He has a contract with them to produce those stories for them. So, like, that is becoming a norm right now, actually. It's a lot of people are making a giant pile of money off of it, too.
Yeah. Well, and Netflix is the place to go for it. I mean, honestly, they're saying that most popular streaming service right now around the globe with over 200 million members.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and that's just paying members. That's not counting all of the, family shares that we all do.
Yes. That's interesting. Honestly, I expected their numbers to be a little higher than that, but that's still an incredible amount of money per year.
Well, you have to think that you can have up to 7 profiles or something, 6 profiles on your Netflix account.
Yeah, and you can have 3 or 4 simultaneously streaming.
Yeah, but if you just go with how many profiles there are allowed, and you multiply that 200 million by, let's say, 4, to go how many actual users there are.
Well, I'm trying to think.
Yeah, but I was expecting them to around the 750.
Well, like I said, if you multiply it by the number of profiles and stuff, you're looking at over 800 million.
Yeah, it would be hard for someone to get that high of a mark. Even if you look at like cable numbers and stuff like that, they're approaching those levels.
Are they?
Yeah.
I guess I didn't realize.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 250 million is a lot of concurrent subscribers.
205 million.
Yeah, whatever. Yes, that is a huge amount of concurrent subscribers. That's, I think, triple their nearest competitor right now.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. That they're not worried about any of their rivals, for lack of a better term.
No.
But they're also keeping their foot on the gas.
Yeah, they honestly have no reason to fear anybody right now. Like it would be difficult for anyone to catch them as long as they are still making content, and that's why they're signing these agreements.
Yeah,
that's why they signed the Benioff and Weiss a couple years ago, right after they finished Game of Thrones. They signed them to like a $250 million deal.
Yeah, and the other things like Netflix original content that we're getting. Not just because they've signed all these deals with producers or production companies, but also that they've signed with other IP.
Yeah, they did that deal with Sony for the Spider-Man first runs.
I mean, or look at, we're coming up on season 3 of Umbrella Academy.
Oh yeah, that looks really cool too.
So, I mean, they're just, Netflix is, trying to get their little grubby fingers into as much as they possibly can.
That's the way.
It's worked for them so far. So
absolutely.
It's
Well,
like I
now
enjoy being able to go to Netflix and have no idea. Have you tried their random feature?
Yes.
It's hilarious.
It is
Twice
so-
it's actually played something off my wish list. But most of the time, it just like, shakba! You have no idea.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to try it, but I'm like, I don't trust it.
But see,
like,
here's the
I
thing.
need it. I need it because I'm so indecisive, and I'll spend like an hour just scrolling Netflix without choosing anything.
Here's the beautiful thing about the random deal on Netflix though, is if you push next, it will not only go to the next one, but it will not sit in your continue watching feed. You know, that field that we all hate where we've watched something for 6 minutes and realized it was shit and you can't get it out of that row. But if you do the random generator, it will not end up in that continue watching feed unless you actually continue to watch it for more than, I think it's like 5 to 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Or at least that's been my experience. I don't know if that's actually how they have written the coding, but that's how it's working.
Oh, yeah.
It makes sense.
The biggest thing about what Netflix is doing currently, because they all of their early contracts, like they thrived on signing exclusivity deals and all that kind of stuff for everything that people loved before. But the biggest thing they've done, especially in the last 3 to 5 years, as they have become such a large content producer that they own everything now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they don't have to pay anybody money. They just like, oh, well, that's ours, and that's ours, and all of this is ours too. So, like, they're gonna have probably at some point have people reaching out to them to license something at some point. In their
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
If they haven't
interesting
yet,
to
and we
like
just
the
don't know
way
about it.
Netflix is going.
Mm-hmm.
I like that there is such a breadth in streaming services, even if it is impossible to keep up with them all. It's like, because there's still 2 streaming services that I want that I'm just like, I don't even have time for the ones I have.
Which
like
ones
I
is
can't
it?
justify adding more.
Which ones are they that you still want?
The Criterion.
Oh, yeah, Criterion's little.
Yep. And the other one is like this weird one my friend told me about. I can't think of the name of right now. But it said it has some really cool programming on it.
Pornhub.
I don't think you need a membership for that, but thank you.
Well, you do
So
need
you
a
can-
membership for petfet.com.
Yes.
That's how you get the special content.
This is
Yes.
true.
But as for Netflix and streaming and the potential addition of new actors to Umbrella, as we're speaking of, there's been a lot of changes in streaming lately, and I'm excited to see where things go.
Yeah. Well, over at on the Umbrella Academy front, we do have the look at the Sparrow Academy now.
Yes.
And so we're seeing who some of those actors are, and holy moly.
Yeah.
Who did you see that you recognized?
Let's see. I
Not a one.
do not recognize them.
Yeah.
Some of them are Netflix actors, like Stash was just saying. But most of them, like, their face looks familiar, but I can't place them anywhere. So, like, maybe I've seen them as like a background character in something.
Well, a lot of them have been recent. They've been in big things, like very recent. On a couple of them, like Justin Cornwell was in that Jingle Jangle movie that came out on Netflix this last year. And then before that, he did like guest appearances on like Chicago PD and Empire and stuff like that. So he's kind of an up and coming guy. Brittany Oldford is from Pretty Little Liars, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, she is. Mm-hmm.
And then she was on American Horror Story. She was part of the Asylum story that they did. So it's a lot of people that have been in things recently, and they're just kind of getting,
they're moving up into bigger roles.
Yeah. Genesis Rodriguez, who's playing the character of Sloane, is primarily a voice actor.
Very good one, actually.
Known for being Honey Lemon in Big Hero 6. Vastly underrated movie. Fucking awesome
That
movie.
movie is amazing.
I agree. It's vastly underrated.
It is.
And she was on She-Ra too as a actor or as a character.
Yeah, on the crappy one.
She was still on She-Ra, which is a Netflix property at this point.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
But yeah, it looks like they're kind of bringing all the people they've had doing stuff, and they're just kind of pushing them all into this to give them more prominent roles.
Yeah,
Which, I mean, that's why you get these contracts with these up-and-coming actors, because you never know what they're going to turn into in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And if Netflix can push them into stardom, it just benefits them all the more.
Yeah, it's huge for them. If they can push these actors and get them more recognition, it's huge for them.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what they do with the character of Lila in season 3 and how she adjusts to being accepted into the family.
Yeah.
And we have been given really nothing other than the show, each episode's title.
Yeah, we got the titles and then the cast update at this point.
But that's it.
The freaking titles are so obtuse that they tell you nothing about what they look.
Exactly. That's kind of their point.
Yeah.
Do we have a release date? A quarter that it's going to come out in?
I am double checking.
I want to say it is 2021, but I cannot.
Yes.
I want to say it was final quarter of this year.
I believe that is accurate. I am double checking my notes and my information.
Yeah, I think it's the big fall series for Netflix.
because
that's what it looks like to me as well.
Mm-hmm. So, what was it?
Yeah, let me just.
I'm looking right now to see if I can find it.
Cool.
Well, I am just champing at the bit for more Umbrella Academy.
No, I don't see a release date still.
Yeah, I do believe it is supposed to be fourth quarter, third or fourth quarter this year.
Well, and they're having this year is going to be huge for them. The end of this year and the beginning of next year, because they're going to have Stranger Things is finally coming back, Umbrella Academy, Witcher.
It's going to be a good year for Netflix subscribers.
Yeah, Last Kingdom, the final season of that comes out. Kaminsky Method's coming out again, or season 3. Yeah, they're going to have a big one.
I mean, it's one of the reasons why they're canceling so many shows that are just kind of dead weight at this point.
And that's what it is. They're trimming things out that they know they can lose because they have something else coming in.
Exactly. So, speaking of new things coming in, why don't you guys take over the reins for a bit and talk about what Nintendo had to say at E3 while they were wrapping up?
Yeah.
Go for it.
A lot of people said, we're talking about do you think we'll see anything for Breath of the Wild 2? And everybody was like, nah, that's not going to be until next year at least. They were not going to have anything, and they were wrong.
Oh, yeah. Zelda.
Well, I mean, the game still isn't coming till next year.
Well, no, but they were saying that we weren't even going to see anything about it, so.
Yeah, Zelda went at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zelda had its own section in the conference. I was very impressed with the what the hell was it called? Their weird little portable system.
Oh, the new Game & Watch. Yeah, they're doing the Game & Watch for the first 3 Zelda games. Yep.
It includes Legend of Zelda, Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, Vermin Link version. And the interactive digital clock and timer.
Yeah, it's similar to what they did with the Super Mario Game & Watch this last year.
And I gotta say, it is really fucking cool, and I have no interest whatsoever in buying it.
Oh, I'm gonna talk about. I just wrote in my notes. I just wrote Breath of the Wild footage. Ooh.
I mean, it does look good, and I do like that there were a lot of rumors that Breath of the Wild 2 was going to go underground and be like a very dungeon-based version of the Breath of the Wild 1 map. And
they couldn't have been more wrong.
Yeah. It was literally the inverse.
Yeah, they went crazy.
But it looks really cool. I mean, it looks as good as it can look on a Switch. It's like I'm really impressed with what they've done with that system, but I really hope we get our Switch Pro when those games come out, because I bet you they're going to need it. They're probably going to run terrible on an original Switch.
Oh, and then they followed, they did the Skyward Sword.
Skyward Sword is coming to the Switch.
Yep. They're up-resing, they're doing... Hang on, I have it all listed right here.
Which
DLC for Hyrule.
Yeah, Hyrule Warriors is getting a DLC expansion.
Y'all want to know some silly shit that I'm excited about from the Nintendo showcase?
Is it Advance Wars? Because I'm excited about that, and it's silly.
No. It's WarioWare. There's a new WarioWare game. I'm so excited.
I love seeing Fox get so animated.
I loved WarioWare Smooth Moves. So I can't wait for this to come out. It's just like good, clean fun.
Like Animal Crossing.
No, more fun.
Yeah, more fun.
More fun. Yeah. Not as much, choice paralysis.
Not as much work. It's just it's a series of micro games, mini games, but micro games, where it just utilizes the motion control functionality of the system to do like the silliest shit. Like in the old one, you would like pluck nose hairs or like slash things up with a samurai sword or like
the toothpaste tube in the demo. I was like, that's so weird.
It's really fucking weird, and I love it.
WarioWare tends to be a little bit off the beaten path.
Yeah, God bless the Japanese.
Well, I mean, to tie with that, they're also doing a new Mario Party, which is very similar.
Yeah, they're doing updated versions of classic maps, like Peach's birthday cake.
Yep.
Oh, it's gonna be so fun!
5 classic boards.
What was that?
It has 5 classic boards that they're upscaling and bringing forward.
Well, they're giving it the Mario Kart treatment, essentially, when they have Mario Kart Ultimate or whatever it was.
Yeah, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Yeah. But, it looks really good. Honestly, this press conference was quite impressive. It had a lot of content. It was delivered in the right way. It was just game after game after game after game with the snapping sound as a transition point, which I thought was pretty amusing.
Yeah.
The Metroid, the new Metroid game looks amazing.
Yeah, they're bringing it.
Metroid 4.
They're bringing it back to 2D.
Yep.
I know. It looks really, really good.
Yeah, and how they called it Metroid, what is it? Metroid Doom? Metroid Dread. Dread, yeah, because they've got the robots that chase you, and I was watching the gameplay and it was making my stomach tight as the girl who was playing it was trying to run away from the robot.
It reminded me a lot of the traditional Castlevania games, the way that they did it. And I was like, that's kind of cool. That's a cool approach.
Yeah. It looks really good.
Get it back to its roots.
Yeah. I'm not a huge Metroid fan, but this one actually intrigues me. I mean, I can't play it on Switch, but I can look at it and admire it from a distance.
You can watch Fox play it.
That's true. I could. As for other Nintendo big things, we had Life is Strange is coming.
Yeah,
And
We covered that on. I thought that was Microsoft.
No, it's also coming to Switch.
Also,
Oh.
Switch is doing I think it is the same like collector's release that Xbox is doing, isn't it?
It is.
Oh, cool! I'm gonna buy it.
But it is. I don't know for certain, but this might be the first time it's coming to Switch. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure. But
And then Life is Strange.
regardless, like the upscaled version looks much better than it would have. It looks far better than it did even when it came out, even on the Switch and the limited hardware.
The second one looks beautiful.
Yes, it does. Empathy is your power. It's like Fox's superpower.
But we already talked about that. What else we got?
The new character from Tekken.
He is from Tekken.
Coming to Smash Brothers is from Tekken.
Yeah, Kazaya.
Yeah, and I gotta say, like, it looked like a straight up traditional fighting game when they showed his playthrough. I was like, wow, this looks and controls like a fighting game.
I think that's what they did. I think they took that inspiration from the gentleman from Tekken and kind of did that style of, just kind of taking the character as it was and putting it into that universe.
Well, Tekken has always had kind of that absurd branch to itself, so it's nice to see they're finding a good avenue for it. And I feel like a Tekken character is a great fit for Smash Brothers.
It fits with all the other, characters that they bring in, so it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And it is one of the last two. There's one more to be announced character, and that is it for Smash Brothers Ultimate. And then let's see here. Super Monkey Ball. I mean, I don't feel any particular way about that.
About Banana Mania?
Yeah. Fatal Frame. Like, that game is super cool, and like spoopy games on the Switch, like a handheld when you're like in your room in bed in the dark, I imagine would be an amazing experience.
Fatal Frame is a spoopy game, and I'm excited for this one. I will not be playing it, but I would love to watch someone else play it.
You know what?
I don't have the nerves for that kind of thing.
Sure you do. You're a big brave fox.
I am baby.
I know. I mean, but you did watch Bly Manor.
That's more drama than it is spoopy.
That's true. But you did watch The House on Haunted Hill, and that was
yeah. I think Haunting of Hill House was spoopier than Bly Manor, but it was pretty spoopy in parts. But anyway, we're getting off subject.
We are.
No more Heroes 3 coming out in August. Which we already knew about that, but it's kind of still.
It is. It's always nice to see again and another like clip of it.
Mm-hmm.
That
was one of my favorite games on the original Wii system, actually.
Yeah, it was fun. Oh, Cruisin' Blast. I know it's not a game that a lot of people have heard of or really care about, but like good racing games that aren't Mario Kart well, it's nice to have on another system. And like
it's a recognizable IP because it's Cruisin', which everyone saw in arcades, for 20 years.
It's true. I used to play it all the time whenever we went to Red Robin. It's appropriately cheesy and it looks like it's going to be goofy and stupid, which is what you want, what I personally want from racing games. Like, don't get me wrong, like, Horizon is very beautiful, incredible, and beautiful, Coincidentally, game of the show, 53.
Yeah. But I'm like you, I think, in this. I like the arcade racers more than the simulators.
I do too. They're more fun.
I lean into the arcade style racing.
Yeah, you can fuck around in them a lot more, and that really is enjoyable to me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's nothing Stash likes more than fucking around.
Let's see here. I don't know anything about these two games. Shin Megami Tensei 5.
Yeah, Shin Megami Tensei.
It looked super cool, but I am unfamiliar with that IP, so...
It's a Japanese RPG.
It's a, like, basically you, like, collect different, like, demons, and you can, like, fuse them to become other demons.
It looks so cool. It's like, did you ever play Monster Rancher?
No.
Monster Rancher was this really good game where you could put in random discs into your console, and it would give you a monster according to what was on what that disc randomly said. And then you could breed them and train them to fight and stuff like that. It was a really great game.
Yeah, I kind of want to play Shin Megami. I haven't played any of the series before, but I knew someone who was really into it, and it looked cool. I don't know. Might give it a shot. I don't know if I'm going to spend my money on it, but maybe.
It's a pretty long run series. I think the first one came out in like 1995 or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's been around for a while.
Which makes me feel old that 95 means it's been around for a while.
25 years, 26 years.
I know. Still makes me feel old.
As for anything else, like Advanced Wars 1 and 2, I mean, I just like games like that. They look fun.
Monster Hunter.
And I don't even fucking know how to say these. I don't even know how to say this company's name. It's Danganronpa. Decadence brings 3 games. Trigger Happy Havoc, and of course that word I can't say. But new games. Exciting stuff for you guys. And I think that's about all we have to cover for Nintendo Showcase. All the big stuff, at least.
Aren't they doing a Monster Hunter DLC?
Yeah, but that was announced earlier. It's like, and I've known about that for a while.
I'm just saying in the same vein of like No More Heroes and stuff. It's stuff we knew was happening, but they're just reinforcing, hey, this is still happening. Just keep an eye out.
Yeah, I'm excited to not play it because I don't have a Switch.
Excited to not play it.
But I'm excited to hear about it from my friends who have Switches and who will be playing it.
Thanks.
I mean, overall, a great press conference for Nintendo.
Oh, they did a hell of a job. They did what they needed to, and
they reaffirmed there are actually games coming out for the Switch, which everyone was wondering, considering we haven't had a good press conference from Nintendo.
Well, and they brought up one of their biggest guns with Zelda. So they don't have much Mario stuff because the only thing they've talked about with Mario is the Rabbids thing.
And the golf.
Mario Golf. But it's a lot of retread stuff in that one. With Zelda, they kind of like, oh, we got stuff. Don't worry about it. Keep your Switch.
Yeah.
For $200. Yeah.
I'm not like a sports game kind of person, but Mario Golf seems kind of fun.
Have you ever played
Mario Golf is super
Dude,
fun.
golf is a contact sport, and I will not play it even if it's digital.
Well, like, they have, like, cityscapes that you can play in, and you, like, race to the ball. Like, that just seems so fun.
I would legitimately, even if you're not a sports fan, I would legitimately recommend a lot of the Mario sports titles. Like Mario Tennis is really fun. Mario Golf is really fun. They're very arcadey versions of those sports, so it's not taken too seriously. It's not a simulation thing. It's here's Mario and his friends. go fuck around in these weird atmospheres.
which is fun.
Yeah.
So
Mark says he misses Mario Baseball.
everyone misses Mario Baseball.
I don't know if we'll see Mario Baseball back.
It'll eventually happen. It might be a while.
I mean, eventually, because Nintendo brings back everything, but I think we still got quite a bit of time before we need to worry about Mario Baseball.
I would assume so, but I'm assuming at some point in the next probably 5 years we're gonna Mario Super All-Star Baseball of some kind, probably.
Yeah.
Let's see. Mark says it was great, and Waluigi had the knuckleball. So if anybody out there has a copy of this, yeah.
Hard to find those, honestly.
Yeah. Well, do we have anything else we wish to discuss this evening?
No, I believe that we have wrapped our full agenda up in under 90 minutes. So huzzah to us.
Oh, look at us. We're big boys.
Golf claps.
And girl. Big boys and girl. Okay. Well, here, your round of applause. All right. So that is it for this week. We will be back with a whole set of new interesting topics for us to discuss. And moving forward, you can expect to see a random segment popping up on our channel just whenever we run out of time, called From the Cutting Room Floor. That will be anything that we do not have time to address off of our agenda for any given week. So that will not be consistently posted. That'll only be when we run out of time. But this week we did well.
Yes, yes, we did.
So go out, and if you are in Colorado, please stay cool. If you're anywhere else where this heat is fucking terrible, also enjoy air conditioning, carry a fan, walk with a big stick. And we will see you next week.